Well, hello everybody. It's Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerStore.com and PressureWashingSchool.com. Been a little bit since I've done an update on the Kingslinger soft wash system, and I've made a few changes to it, basically in order to help get the price down a little bit more, to help some of you guys out that could possibly get one. So, changes to the Kingslinger coming up next. Hey guys, before I get into the video, again, I just want to remind you about Atlanta is coming up June 20th through 22nd. That's our training event in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, that's June 20th through 22nd. Go to PressureWashingSchool.com/events. You can get all the information and see the pricing. It's a 3-day training event. I'm going to be on the first day, the 20th, teaching on roof cleaning, building washing, property protection, and also concrete cleaning. That's all outside, hands-on training. You can actually use the wands and spray if you want to. And then Jeffrey Blackman on the 21st is doing parking lot striping training. That's all classroom time, first off in the morning, and then hands-on out in the parking lot where you'll be able to actually use the equipment and practice doing some lines yourself. And then the 23rd is the Difference Makers Business Conference. That's held at the Country Inn and Suites there in Atlanta. That's all about your business, nothing about cleaning. Money matters, getting commercial clients, getting high-end residential sales, creating a residual income for your business, and different streams of revenue. Jeffrey Blackman's got a great talk about how to create different streams of revenue. And all kinds of other things that will be going on that pertain to the business side of your business. We'll actually give you a little flow chart how to get your business started, which is very beneficial to new guys and girls just getting started, or even if you've started and you've been there 2 or 3 years doing your business but haven't done things the correct way. This will help you as well. So PressureWashingSchool.com/events for all of our training. Also, June 10th and 11th is our next hands-on training. And then we've got them in July, August, September, throughout the rest of the year, every month. Also, the online video school, don't forget about that. If you can't travel, then that'll drastically help you cut your learning curve, and you can do it right from the comfort of your home. Okay, guys, so I've been wanting to do this for a while, well, I guess in the last month or so. Just a Kingslinger update on more changes that we've made. I'm constantly making changes to this to make sure that it's meeting our customers' needs, and also trying to keep the price as competitive as possible and as low as possible for our customers. And so you're probably familiar with the one we've always had for last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You know, when we first came out with it, it had the Pentair valves, and I never really liked those. And so once I was able to, I switched to the GF valves, and hopefully all those Pentair valves have been switched over as those Pentair valves go out. I know some people still like those, but we just had an inordinate amount of air leaks caused by those. So switched to the GF valves, and we've been doing that for probably the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years, somewhere in that area. So once I went to the GF valves, and we've had that, you know, for a little while now, a few years, and those have worked great. But the price on those just kind of keeps going up a little bit, and we've kind of held our cost and our price on the unit that had the GF valves right around, I think it was $13.49. And then along, of course, came the Big Slinger, where we had so many requests for 3/4 inch valves that we started making one with 2 3/4 inch valves. But we were using the Asahi on those, and we still are. We'll eventually switch to the newer valves that you're seeing here for the Big Slinger, for those that want the 3/4 inch valves. I still love this system here with the 1/2 inch valves. I'm not a big need a ton of flow type guy. I just need to get the bleach on the surface so it can start changing the color. And I just feel more flow ends up just wasting, no matter, even if you're tipping down, you can do that in some situations, but not every situation. So anyway, to the changes that we've made, we've got these new valves here. And what we're doing is we're including 2 metering valves. These valves, you've probably seen other vendors sell them as well. And we started going to them here about a month or so ago. And the price is just much more competitive on these. So I've actually been able to reduce the price due to the cost that we're paying for these. And also, instead of having a mixing valve on the water valve over here, we've gone to just a ball valve. There's just not really a need to meter the water valve. I always kind of liked having the fact that if I had a meter valve over here, we could adjust the water down to get a stronger mix, but you can still do that. We just don't have to do that very often. Very rare, as a matter of fact, but you can turn some of the water down and that's going to produce a little bit stronger mix if you need to. It's just not metered. It gives you full flow for the water. So new valves, and then just a ball valve on the water side. And then one of the things that we did, that I did a couple years ago, it may be longer than that, 3 or 4 years ago, is, we used to have them like this with a 1/2-inch check valve that was in here, and we had to use these nipples to connect between, whatever we were connecting. So not only did it make it a little bit longer setup here, but that just enables, when you've got connections like this, that's just 2 more points right here, here, and here, that you could get an air leak. And then wherever this is connected to, which is generally the poly 90 down here, and then the bottom of the valve, you can get another air leak here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 points of a possibility of an air leak if they loosen up because of vibration or whatever, and that's going to happen anytime you have these types of valve systems. So you really constantly have to maintain these. I say not constantly, once every 8 months to a year, you need to go through and maybe pull it apart and repipe them, redope them, or whatever. But what we went to is male pipe threads. We had these made up so that there's no poly nipple, and you are reducing the chances of an air leak by 2 because we don't have the nipples. So it also made the whole system a little bit shorter. The air compressor that they come up with now, that the industrial orange compressor, the handles are much smaller. So it's hard to get this plate on there in some situations, but we use a couple of aluminum 1x1 pieces of aluminum that we can raise it up and attach it if we need to. Again, if you don't want to use the 1x, and this doesn't have to be attached to the compressor, so if you don't want to use the 1x pieces of aluminum to raise it, you can mount this pretty much anywhere on your compressor, anywhere on your trailer or truck or whatever that you've got a spot. I just like having it as one self-contained unit. So that's another thing that we did. We went to the male pipe thread check valves, and both 1/2-inch, and we also have them now in 3/4. And so this is what we'll start using on the big slinger. So this enabled us to lower the price pretty significantly. I think it went from $13.49 to about $11.99 because of the cost savings in the valves, basically. Still have the Tsunami water air separator and the 10-gallon per minute pump, and then along with that you get your little package of fittings and connections for the connections up here, the male adapter. So your hoses is going to go on these. You've got your yellow compressor hose that goes from the compressor to the back of the Tsunami, and then you've also got down here your mounting screws and nuts if you need those for mounting to the compressor. So that all comes in a little bag when you buy it. You've also got some a 90 fitting in here, banjo, and I believe there's also should be a straight one in there somewhere. Yes, down on the bottom, which depending on your orientation on the outlet of the pump, you can make it a 90 and go, you know, that way, or if you need it to come straight down, then you can use the straight fitting. So that's basically the changes. We have a gentleman that I'm packing wood up right now. That's why I want to do this video, because every time I get ready to do a video, we sell one, and then we have to build another one, and then we sell that. And so before this one goes out Monday morning, I wanted to do this video. He has opted to get clear braid kits using the bulkheads. So he'll use these in his tank, and the top side with the 90 will go over to the unit or his tank. This will be the tank, and then this will go over to the back of one of these, either his bleach or water or whatever. And then the bottom part goes down into the bottom of the tank with his hose. And then this is a 3/8 soap kit. Again, he's using the bulkheads to use for his soap valve. And then he also purchased a supplemental hose so that he can use this middle valve for something else if he wants to, other than his surfactant. So lots of different options with this system, with this kit. I'm still using the orange industrial compressor that you can get off of Northern Tool. They've just changed it now where they have the Honda, still a Honda motor, but it's a different motor. It's a much better motor, a little bit quieter. But again, the handles are just too small to fit this on there, so you have to make adjustments if you're going to do that by using something that's going to raise it. And we found that the 1x1 aluminum square tubing is what works best. So everything else is pretty much the same. Still have the nice thick piece of metal that we use to attach everything to it. The valve, the middle valve back here, is even attached using screws so that everything is nice and solid. Nothing's real loose. That helps with the vibration as you're driving down the road and helps keep it. One thing I always like to remind people is when you get these, there is only one screw in the top here, and then there's one screw in the bottom side. So you'll have one here and one on the opposite side. If you see 3 screw holes missing, that's how it comes. That's how FlowJet builds them. It's not a problem. That's the way they work. Also, we have a lot of questions about the mufflers, these little gray things. I always take mine out, or I'll punch a hole right in there. That's especially beneficial in the wintertime when it's cold, because these are exhaust mufflers, so they shoot out air from the pump. And in the cold weather, because condensation is coming out of here, these will freeze up and cause the pump to stop pumping. So generally what's going to happen is over time it's going to bust a hole through there. That's okay. In the winter time, if I see it hasn't busted a hole here, I usually just take them out. There's a little clip here that you can use to take them out, or just take a little poker and poke a hole in it so that the exhaust can still exhaust out during the winter. So that's the Kingslinger soft wash system that we've been selling for quite a few years, since day one when we opened. And it's a great system, and if you're need to clean roofs or really bad stucco, this is basically, like I tell everybody, this is a pump up sprayer on steroids. That's basically all a soft wash or a dedicated pump is. It just allows you to spray larger amounts of bleach mix and have a longer hose, so you don't have to continually fill up a pump up sprayer and pump it up every time it runs out of air. So that's all they are. I call them a pump up sprayer on steroids. There's all kinds of systems out there, 12-volt systems, gas operated, but I still like this system because I can really keep my flow under control and just really helps our property protection and plant issues and things of that nature. But like I said, there's tons of different ones out there. Just got to find the one that you think you're going to be happy with. And, you know, when I say find the one that you've been happy with, I've used all of them. I've used gas-powered machines. I've used boosters. I've used, what else is out there? Booster pumps, 12 volts, all kinds of them. And I've had them all 2 and 3 different times in my career in just over the last 10 years. But I always go back to the air diaphragm systems, whether it's like an all-flow. I used to use those. Always had issues with the pump stalling on those. You'll have issues sometimes with these stalling if you're not keeping the water out of the pumps, the moisture. But generally only one pump will stall at a time. Rarely have I ever had both of them stall where it just, but that could happen. So little nuances of every little system that you get. You just got to basically sometimes try them all to figure out which one you're going to like and stick with. So hope this has been helpful for you guys, but I just wanted to share a little bit about some of the changes that we've made and the price reduction so that hopefully it makes it a little bit affordable for more people to get into a nice soft wash system. You do have to supply the compressor yourself. We do not supply that. The only time we ever do is if we've got a build that we're doing and they may be financing or something, so they'll want us to get the compressor and just put it onto their quote. So other than that, if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know. Email me at info@DougRuckerStore.com. All right, guys, hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions about the Kingslinger, then just hit me up at info@DougRuckerStore.com or call or text us at 281-612-1223. Don't forget Atlanta, coming up June 20th to 22nd, June 20th through the 22nd. Don't forget our hands-on training coming up June 10th. And 11th, I believe it is. I got a lot of dates going on. So just go to pressurewashingschool.com/events. If you have any questions about any of my trainings, hit me up at pressurecleaningschool@gmail.com. If you have questions about the products, then hit me up at info@DougRuckerStore. By the way, the absolute worst place to contact me through is Facebook Messenger. I just don't get on that hardly ever. So it's best to either text me. If you're one of my students, you know how to get a hold of me. But if you have something about the store, you need to get a hold of us, then call or text 281-612-1223 or email us info@DougRuckerStore.com. Y'all have a very, very blessed day, and I hope to see you in Atlanta.
But no, I come to speak life over you, to let you know to never give up. I'm standing here today to tell you that all things are possible to them that can believe.
Hey, this is Carlos from Atlanta, and I can't even begin to tell you what an amazing experience we had at this conference.
But as Jeff was saying a while ago, it all starts with a vision.
It's not my preference.
Show y'all before I go back in and do the market part. This machine right here is what's called your your Titan 3500. And that is your Graco laser line 3400.